Hey everybody, Fireworks Stud here, back with another brick opening video. We're going to go ahead in this video open each of these bricks that I have on the table here, show you what the packs look like, what the crackers look like, and then at the end of the video we'll take a couple packs from each brick and light them off and just see how they do. I'm starting a small collection. It might be painful to some of you to see me open each of these bricks. None of them are really that valuable. There are some older UN stuff, and that's what I've started to collect and put in a tub that I have, just a 12-gallon tub where I can, just grab handfuls of shooters, things that are going to perform well, firecrackers that are going to perform well, that don't pain me too much to light. Anyways, enough talking. Let's go ahead and get into some of these bricks. All right, we have 3 bricks from Shelton Fireworks. So we're going to go ahead and alternate between the Shelton bricks and do one of the other bricks in between each one. I've never shot any Shelton Fireworks, or I should say Shelton Firecrackers, as I don't really have one very close to me. So I found these bricks for cheap, and I was able to pick them up. So I'll go ahead and get this unwrapped. In this video, I'm going to edit out the carnage of unwrapping them. I know some people might want to leave that in. Let me know what you guys prefer, but I'll be right back once I have this opened up and we can go from there. All right, we got the cellophane off this brick. As you can see, it is a Viking brick, the bold one. Shelton stuff, if anything, they've always had really cool design. I love the old school look to them. And from what I've heard about Shelton bricks, I'm actually gonna put this in 0.5 just for better viewing. Well, from what I've heard about Shelton bricks, you never quite know what you're going to get when it comes to the crackers themselves, whether they have stars on them or not. But I'm pretty certain, talking to someone who knows a lot more about these bricks than I do, that both of the Shelton bricks that I have are going to be all reds. But maybe we're in for a surprise. That's a cool little label that we'll keep here. We will get off this outer wrapper. Nice, I love when bricks come with this little sleeve that you can just take a few packs out of. Just makes for tidier storage of the bricks once you have them opened up. So let's take out a pack from one of these sleeves. They each have just another label on them, same thing as that's on the brick. I'll get them opened up, and just like I expected, we have all reds on these. It is a lighter red than you see on most crackers. Maybe they're a little bit older. So at the end of the video, we will see how they perform. But that is the Viking firecracker brick. Okay, next we have these Lotus Firecrackers from Lotus brand. These might be the most collectible out of this group of bricks that I'm opening. I don't know. There's another, the Brothers brick might be competing with this. But these firecrackers have a reputation for being very good. They were made for the Asian market. As you can see on the brick, they're from a company out of Honolulu, Hawaii. So that's pretty cool. I'll go ahead and unwrap this as best that I can, and we'll be right back. Okay, we got the outer wrapping off, and just from the design of this label, I'm going to guess that these are earlier UN crackers. They're definitely not being made anymore. I'm going to try my best to save this label, but it is pretty stuck to the outer wrapping of this brick. Let's see. It's a goner pretty much, but we'll throw that in the bag. You'll see why. These two have those sleeves, which is nice, but something unique about these firecrackers. Let me pull out a pack. Oh, broke the sleeve. They do not have a label. You don't see that with a lot of firecrackers these days, and I mean, that some might consider that unfortunate. Let's see what they look like. These two look to be all reds, but that is, sorry, not in the best angle there. That is a little bit of a brighter red than you see on most packs. And for a second, thought it was paper fused, but that's a little visco fused. So, like I said, I heard that these are really good. They have a lot of weight to them. This half brick is probably the heaviest half brick I've ever held. So we'll get to the end of the video and we will see how these do. Let me go ahead and move on to the next brick. Here is the next brick that we're going to be opening. Instead of firecrackers, these are Ladyfingers, which are firecrackers themselves, but you know what I mean. A little bit different than your standard firecracker, and that they're very small. This is another Shelton brick, the China Doll Ladyfingers. So I'll take out this outer wrapping and we'll go from there. Okay, outer wrapping is off. I didn't say how many packs are in here, and it looks like you're supposed to have 8 packs of 10, and each pack has 40 crackers, so 80 individual packs. Let's go ahead and take this label off and see what we have here. I don't remember the last time I opened up a Ladyfinger brick. I might have never opened up a Ladyfinger brick the more I think about it. I used to have wolf pack Ladyfingers back in the day when I was getting stuff from Phantom, but those always came in assortments. So I don't think I've ever opened up one of these bricks. Let's just open it up from the top here. Yeah, so these look cool. You've got 8 of these little things in there, and if I can get it to focus, it doesn't look like they're individually wrapped. You actually just have 10 strips of Ladyfingers, and you might be able to see, I'm trying to get good light on there, but you can see them all stacked on top of each other. So that's pretty cool. You've got the brick label on top of them, and then they're not individually packed, but they are like that. So I imagine you can light them all as like a big pile, which would probably be pretty awesome, or you can light them individually. But there are the China doll Ladyfingers. Okay guys, it's starting to smell real good in here. A bunch of loose powder in the bottom of these bricks, and you can smell it. It's a great smell for any pyro. This next brick we have is probably the brick I'm most excited to open. These are the blast crackers from Brothers. These are probably approaching 20 years old, if not already 20 years old, just from the quick research I did on them. I know that they have a design on them, so let's open up this brick and see what they look like. All right, we got most of the cellophane off of this brick. You could tell just by taking it off and how much it was sticking to the brick that this is an older brick too. So something that's interesting about this brick, I don't know if I said it, but it's an 8016. If you're just looking at it from the top, it looks like a half brick, but it's double stacked. So cool looking full brick. They definitely don't stack them like that anymore. Let's go ahead and take off the outer wrapping. Oh, there goes the label. If I was trying to save it, which I really wasn't, but. And then you have just 4 of these 20 little bricks that are strapped together real nice. I like the silver wrap on the packs too. You don't really see brands go away from the red wrap nowadays. So we have a pack out. Nice looking pack, high performance firecrackers. Let's open this pack up here. These might, I think they're the same size, but they feel a little bit bigger. I don't know. That's probably me just going crazy. It is a little late here, so I might be a little tired. All right. Like I said, these have a design on them, and I think they look super cool. Even though it's super simple, you just have Brothers written around these crackers. So yeah, that's what we're looking at for this brick here. I'm sure because they're older UN that they're going to be pretty good performers. So we'll put these to the side. We have one more Shelton's brick and then another full 8016 brick, and then we'll get on to the demos. You can see it's starting to look like Christmas up here. We've got a bunch of paper to get rid of after I'm done filming. Our last Shelton bricks is this Combat Commando. Instead of 16s, these are packs of 12. Again, don't quite know how old these are. It's a skinnier brick than normal, but let's go ahead. I will take off that outer wrapping real quick. Okay, outer wrapping is off. Let's go ahead and try to save this label. I think it's pretty cool. Label itself. Do the best I can. These are always hard to get off cleanly, especially when they're a little bit older. Okay, you have the Combat Commandos. Again, this is a 4012. They're big, loud, and fighting mean. Let's see what they look like. Again, I'm expecting these, kind of like the Vikings, to be all reds. No disappointment in that. I've heard that these are pretty good shooters themselves. So let's see what we got in here. Again, nice little sleeves. And let me try to open them up. Just get one pack out. These are packed pretty tightly. Might be a little stuck together. There we go. Okay, here is one of those packs. Slightly different label than the brick, maybe about the same. And let's see if we have any sort of design on them. And we do not, like I said, as expected, just all reds, a nice 12 pack there. So 40 of those. And we are on to our last brick. Let me pull that over here and I'll be back in 1 second. Okay guys, thanks for making it this far. If you have, this is our last brick to open and showcase before we get on to the demos. So we'll get into it real quick. We have the American Outlaw series Jesse James limited edition firecrackers. I do not know who makes these or how old they are. So if you have any information on that, definitely let me know in the comments. I'm sure someone who watches this video will have a general idea on that. Because this is pretty much opened, I don't need to pause the video, I don't think anyways. Take that label off the best we can. And we did all right there. I'm expecting these to be colored and have a design on them, unless I'm mistaken. So we'll see what we got in here. This is an 8016 brick, full brick of firecrackers. Let's pull out a pack. Just the brick label on those. And yeah, nice looking pack here. Let me zoom in on those. So it's a little bit faded, but those do have little stars on them. And you've got the red and the blue, just like I was expecting. It's a nice looking pack. Pretty crackers, and from videos I've seen, they seem to perform pretty dang well. So I would not be surprised if these are the best crackers of all the bricks I just opened. But let's go ahead and move on to the next video and find out for ourselves. Okay guys, we're out here to try some of these crackers that we just opened up out of those bricks today. And I have my decibel meter here with me. We're going to see which one's the loudest. But overall, we're just going to see how each of them perform. Let me go ahead and open up these Brothers Blast crackers. All right, let's light these off. And they went out. Okay, let's light them off. Nice crackers. Looks like our max decibel reading was 96.7. We will light off another pack and see if it can beat it. Here's pack number 2. Sorry, I didn't really give you a look for pack number 1. These are neat crackers, just got the brothers on them. And yeah, let's see if this can be any louder than the first pack. All right, still at 96.7 on those. We'll move on to the next crackers and see if anything's louder. Okay, next pack are these Combat Commandos from Shelton's. These are 12s. We'll open them up. All right, here we go. Let's light them off. Pretty loud. The max decimal reading on those, 81.1. Let's light off the second pack. All right, second pack. All right, nothing beat the 81.1 from the first pack. We'll move on to a different brick of crackers. Next crackers we're going to light are these Jesse James limited edition. Here they are. Let's light them off. Okay, max reading on those was 94.3. That's pretty close to the first ones we lit off. I don't remember if that beat it or not. Let me open up this second pack and we'll see if it can go any louder. Here goes pack number 2. All right, just like the other ones, it did not beat the first sound level of 94.3. We will move on to the Vikings from Shelton as our next packs. And here's how those look. Let me open them up. Okay, all reds on these two, just like when we opened them up. Let's light one off. Okay, not as loud. 79.2 was our loudest mark there. Let's light off another pack. Here's pack number 2. Okay, I think we had one bounce back closer to us, so got up to 93.1. Before that, it was still at the 79.3 or whatever it was for the first pack. So those are probably, you know, around a 75-ish range. Let's open up. We've got 2 more packs to try out. We will try the Lotus Crackers next. All right, as you saw in the first part of the video, these don't have a label on them, so they're just a red pack. But these are bright red crackers. I have a feeling this is going to be pretty loud from what I've heard, so let's light one off. Our loudest on that was an 85.0. Let's light off our second pack. Here goes pack number 2. Nice. Okay, so some of those bounced back at us, but that was definitely a louder pack. And we have our first 100 decibel pack, 102.6, as you see there. Just from my experience being here in person, those are definitely the loudest. I think that first pack was just a little weird. Let's move on to our last pack, which are those China dolls from Shelton. Here's what a whole pack of these looks like. Let me open up. I think they're individual strips inside these bigger packs. All right, here's a single strip of those China dolls. Let's see how they do. Dang. I'm impressed by those and surprised. We have another 100 decibel pack. Let's light off another one. I will reset it. I know it got a little bit close, the pack did, to this meter. So let's reset this and light off another pack and see what we got. Okay, pack number 2. Okay, it also bounced towards us, but we have a 101.1. Let me clear it one more time, try to throw them a little bit further away. I think it is skewing this number, and then we'll be done with the video. Thanks for sticking with me, guys. All right, here's our last pack. Okay, I didn't set up the decibel reader right, but the highest I saw it go to was 88 decibels. So that's a little bit closer to what I think they actually are. In person, they're not as loud as the 16 strips that we lit off, as you would expect with Ladyfingers, but those are still really, really good. So thanks for watching, guys. I know this was a super long video. I hope you thought the decibel meter was a cool thing. That's something I'm going to be putting in a lot of my videos that will follow this one. So let me know if you tried any of these crackers before, and if you aren't, please subscribe. But thanks for watching, guys.